Boris Johnson has been out of the limelight, but he's back. And today he sat down for his first television interview on his time as Prime Minister.
Who is the real Boris Johnson?
Telling ITV's Tom Bradby that he is proud. Proud of the win.
In 2019, we put together an enormous coalition. We got 14 million votes, which is 4 million more than Starmer got in 2024, right?
And proud of his record.
I think that you will find a pretty extraordinary story that we packed in to 3 years.
Ever since helping to drive Britain out of the EU, Johnson has been a deeply divisive figure. Loved and despised. Now in a new memoir, he admits the Brexit vote was followed by chaos. But it wasn't his fault.
You blame David Cameron, you blame Theresa May later, you blame the EU. The one person you don't blame is you, and people will find that amazing. You told us that we should do this, and you hadn't devoted any serious thought to what came next.
Come on. So I wanted to win an argument, and I believed in freedom, and I believed that our country had a great, great future.
But you were the leader. You were leading us into this.
What I wasn't trying to do, and I don't think, and certainly what Michael Gove wasn't trying to do, we weren't trying to form the next government. Every other European leader, when they hold referendums, stays in office. It's not normal for the Prime Minister, having asked for a referendum vote, suddenly to evacuate the stage.
When he was in charge, COVID brought Britain to a standstill, but revelations exposed a very different mood inside Downing Street. In his book, Johnson says apologising for Partygate was a catastrophic mistake.
I thought you were sorry, but in the book, you're not.
Well, I obviously bitterly regret mistakes that I made, but what I was trying to say is that by a blanket apology at the outset, I seemed to inculpate everybody, every accusation that was subsequently made.
The scandal blew up further when ITV News revealed an email inviting staff to a bring-your-own-booze garden party.
People are dying alone, and here is your private secretary writing to over 100 people, inviting them to a party in the Downing Street garden.
Sorry, hang on a second.
People can't understand
why
you wouldn't be
because
paralytically apologetic about that.
Because I was at the time. If you remember what happened.
But now you're saying, it was a big deal. I shouldn't have apologised.
Well, if you look at what
we were in this newsroom with arrows saying, walk round this way.
And so were we.
We were outside,
So were we.
agonisingly speaking with one person. Well, you weren't. You were inviting 100 people to the garden. It's madness.
But that was outside. I really, really don't think that those officials thought that they were setting out to break the rules.
But they were breaking the rules.
They thought that they were doing something. They were working round the clock.
At the time, Johnson said sorry to the Queen about parties on the eve of Prince Philip's funeral, where she was forced to sit alone.
Do you regret apologising to the Queen?
Let me give you my own view.
Well, if you answer my question, let's then perhaps go on to have your view. Do you regret apologising to the Queen?
Look, I don't discuss my conversations with the Queen.
At the end, I was left with one question, perhaps, that I think everyone who reads the book will be left with, and it is a simple one. Is your political career over?
My chances of returning to politics, as I think I've said before, about as good as my being reincarnated as an olive, blinded by a champagne cork, locked in a disused fridge, or decapitated by a frisbee.
Sounds like a long-winded way of saying maybe.